Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Trading with Sergio. Fed Decision Day, January 28th, coming up. But, market's just in a really tight range, grinding higher. In fact, I have a long-form video coming up today at noon Pacific about why the indexes are stuck. Well, the reason is Mag 7 has stalled. It's pretty much all the stocks in the Mag 7 are trading either flat compared to a few months ago, or some of them like Microsoft and Amazon are actually approaching their April lows. So if the Mag 7 or Mag 10 doesn't go, indexes are not going to go anywhere. So I know X is having problems. I'll post this on X when I'm done with the live stream. If anybody wants to join, here's the link of the live stream. There it is. If you want to join, just grab it. You don't need any special software. It's I'm looking at my phone, sorry. It's just you don't need an app. You don't need to do anything. All you have to do is grab the link. Make sure you're in a quiet place with good internet reception. So not much is going on. I took some nice profits today on a couple of stocks. The headline says, "Is it time to buy Tesla?" I tippy-toed into TSLL, which is the 2X ETF of Tesla. Yesterday, I'm looking to build a position there. As I've said before, these 2X ETFs are for short-term movements only. You should not be buying and holding these things. There's many people who are complaining about these 2X ETFs. Those are the people who don't understand about something called volatility drag or slippage, because they think if they buy TSLL, they're just going to be automatically in Tesla. You're not. The 2X ETF doesn't even own the shares of Tesla. They own swaps and options. In fact, if you go to the TSLL website, it clearly indicates that these things are not to be bought and held. Now, if you're doing some option strategies with it, different story, but no 2X ETF should be bought and held for long periods of time. You're just going to lose. There's a million examples of that. We don't have to go into that, but I'll go into the TSL trade in a minute when I show you guys the positions. I'm pretty flat. I added to some of my SPY put debit spreads. Those are going out to March 20. 685, 675. Not much to do, really. I'm not comfortable with the market. I'm not bearish, obviously, because we're only 1% from all-time highs. Triple Q probably 3% from all-time highs. Every time the market gets down to 675 level or 6750, we have support there. And every time we bounce up to 690, we have resistance there. So we're just kind of stuck here in this range. We've been stuck here for a while, so whichever way it breaks, I think this dam's going to break, and we're just going to go that way. If we break higher, break out of this range, probably 7,200 on SPX is coming up. If we break lower, probably 6,500 to 6,600 is coming up. So, wait until the signal is established. I'm just buying some hedges, to be honest with you. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not really a pure directional play. I'm not showing on the map. What does that mean? So anyway, good morning, Mike. Good morning, Buddha. I'm not showing the map. I don't know what that means. Can you elaborate on that? Which map is that? I don't know. Anyway, so what else is going on? It's a quiet week. It's just going to be a quiet week until option expiration on Friday. Those are the weeklies. And February options are expiring. OPEX. On OPEX days, it's kind of weird. I try to stay out of things, but yeah, probably it's going to be a short one today, to be perfectly honest, because there isn't really much going on. I'm looking to put on some trades. One thing I was talking to my members group is I'm really bullish on. I was bullish on the metals, but I'm more bullish on the precious metal miners, copper miners. These companies are printing money. I mean, if you're interested in any other stuff, just go read the released earnings reports on, let's say, Hecla yesterday, Hecla Mining, which is one of the major silver producers, and they're literally printing money. They're out of the ground. Full cash cost is about $10 to $20 an ounce, and silver is about 75. I'm pretty sure they're all hedged. You know, they don't put out what prices they're hedged on, but these companies are printing money. Same thing with Freeport-McMoRan, copper producer, the largest copper producer, I think, in the country, in the world, well, in the U.S. for sure. But they have international operations going all over the place. I like ERO quite a bit here. You know, there's a lot of stocks I'm following. I'm sticking to my guns with the 52-week high list. I'm not going to mess with any other stocks that are broken down, like Hood and Palantir and things like that. I have zero interest in it. My picture-in-picture is off. Oh, hold on. Okay. Is it on? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with StreamYard too. So I set it up for both. I guess you guys will have, because I'm seeing myself on two screens. So I don't know. Let me take a look. Picture-in-picture layout. Yeah, all the layouts are good. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I'm on a full screen layout with the picture-in-picture. Picture-in-picture is oh that one. Well, I'm not there yet. I do that when I'm showing positions and showing charts and stuff like that, if that's what you guys mean. Anyway, hello everyone. So hello there. Monday, Wednesday, trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. On Friday, I'll be back with Power Hour with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's the schedule for this week. Nuri, good morning. Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to be in general careful selling puts anyway. I do, if I'm not convinced, you know, of a direction, I usually do put credit spreads as opposed to just puts. Defined risk downside, you still can lose money, but defined risk downside. So your picture-in-picture is off. Yeah, it is off because I'm not showing charts. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. But you guys can see me, right? And hear me. So if you do, put a thumbs up on the, I set it up on YouTube on both. It should be a small screen for cell phones, a vertical one and a horizontal one. So there is two live streams, by the way, a vertical and a horizontal, depending on your where you're watching. You can choose either or. X is definitely off. StreamYard is saying that X is having problems with lives. I'll post this on X when I'm done. Please check out the video coming out today, by the way, at noon. It clearly explains why indexes are not going anywhere. I have a bunch of videos coming up over the last 5-6 days, next 5-6 days. You know, I have one coming up on crypto. I have one coming up on precious metals. I have one coming up on interest rates. Another one coming up on the hot stocks on social media, you know, such as the Hoods and Palantirs and things like that. So, with that said, let's go. Now you guys should be able to see the picture-in-picture. Now you guys should be able to it. So anyway, these are my positions. I'll go up in a minute, but I post my positions every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, For the general subscribers on the community page, we must have just covered the last on us. Yeah, I think we did. Okay, cool. Short put credit spreads covering the short leg. Took some really nice profits, almost doubles on the long side. So that position is done, it looks like, but let's go check it, take a look. Yep, we just did. Okay, so we're done with the short leg of that. We just have some puts left if we do get a correction. You know, positions are the same. We're down to one. I just took a Tesla position. I have a put debit spread on SPY, small positions really. And I have a strangle expiring on Friday, which is kind of exciting, on ZSL, which is the 2x ETF, inverse ETF of SLV. Last month, the premiums were ridiculous, so I put a strangle on, bought the shares, and sold a 2-3 strangle for 94 cents. I don't think I'm going to get 94 cents. I think they're about 40-45 cents for March, but I'll just wait on that. So basically taking 94 cents, both if the stock, if ZSL is between 2 and 3, which looks like high likelihood that's going to happen, I'm just going to, they're going to expire. So basically I'm lowering my cost basis by 94 cents on something that's $2.40. I mean, that you guys can figure out the percentages for a month on that. Even going forward for March, if I can do it at 40-50 cents, that's still 25% on something, or 20% a month. And after this month, I'll probably leave it alone. And then if it does move up, I'll sell the calls. If it does move down, I'll sell the puts. If it's below 2 by Friday, I will get assigned another 2,500 shares at 2 minus the 94 cents. And if it's above 3, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it's above 3, then I'm going to get called away at 394. It was probably the best trade I put on last month. I'm bleeding with ASST with everybody else. Same thing with BMNU, except I have had a bunch of cover calls that are going to expire on Friday. What else? I was short put credit spread on Lemonade. Earnings are coming out tomorrow morning. I didn't take a chance. I had shorted them at like 230 range. I covered them at 130, 135, 140 today. ONDS. So I had sold a put credit spread. With that money, I had bought call debit spreads. It was 10.7.5 put credit spreads and 10.15 call debit spreads. I have a tendency of selling things early, but when you get to a double, you got to take those. So now I closed the long side of the calls. I had bought the short side of the calls last week, actually, with 50%. I sold the long side of the calls with close to 70 to 80%. And now I'm closing the short side of the puts. That's why I like doing four-legged trades, because you have so many opportunities to do so many different things with it. You can turn the position into, from a synthetic to a bullish position and bearish position. You can do so many things with these things. So, I fully covered now the short leg of the put credit spread. So now I'm just long some puts, and I'm not bearish on the stock. I just kind of keep the puts. They're going out to March, and if we were to get a sell-off, the stock obviously will sell off for a $10 stock. This is a really, really volatile stock. So we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, I put on Tesla. Same thing on TSLL, 15-12 put credit spreads. With that money, I bought some 15-20 call debit spreads. I put them on about 50 cents debit. So it's a really equity efficient way of participating if Tesla is going to have a rally. Obviously, TSLL is the 2x ETF of Tesla. While I'm at it, let me explain to you guys just real quickly how ridiculous these 2x ETFs are and how ridiculous these people are that hold these things, right, for long periods of time. So this is TSLL, okay? I mean, this is Tesla. So, and this is TSLL. I'm going to go to the same dates and then give you guys an idea how ridiculous it is for people to buy and hold these 2x ETFs. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's go to Tesla first. Okay, so Tesla last year in April, bottomed about 220, let's say. Okay, so, and I'll even pick a day, honestly. Let's pick a day. The day is 421. So let's go to 421.25. So let's go to the same day on TSLL, 421.25. Okay, so that Tesla was 220. Okay, keep that number in mind. And TSLL it closed at 678. Let's say 7. Okay, and let's go back to Tesla today. Well, let's go to the top. Okay, from there all the way to December 22 of last year, Tesla rallied to 498, let's say 500. So it went from 220 to 500. Okay, so what is that? That's about 100 and 220, 500, $280, about 140%, right? Right about there, 130%, 135%. So TSLL should have gone up how much? TSLL should have gone up double that. So close to, if it's 140, it should have gone up 280%. Well, I have breaking news. TSLL went from 7 to 23. Okay, that is definitely not 250%, but over longer periods of time. Let's take a look at Tesla over a 3-year period. Okay, this is TSLL and this is Tesla. Okay, so let's look at the tops. TSLL in 12/18/2024. Okay, well, Tesla was right at 490. All right, and then it came all the way down to 220. That was the bottom in April, and then went back to 490. Right, so 490 on 12/18/24, and then 490 again on 12/22/25. So pretty close within a year. So Tesla is back to, fell 50% and came back up 140% to equal its price about a year before then, right? So keep these dates in mind. 12/18/24, 12/22/24, same price, 490. Well, let's take a look at TSLL. Same dates. Okay, so here it is. 12/18/24, TSLL 41.5. Got it? Tesla is the same price, 490, 490. 12/22/25, TSLL is 23.75. Let's say 24. Now, if you had bought Tesla just as common shares, you'll be even. 490, 490 in about a year period of time. Okay. If you bought TSLL thinking Tesla is going higher, 42 versus 24. That's 18 points. That's down 40%. So Tesla is unchanged, why TSLL is down 40%. That is exactly why no one should buy and hold these 2x ETFs. And a lot of people did that in BMNR with BMNU. A lot of people did that with MSTR and MSTU. I mean, MSTR and MSTU are the poster children for these things. I don't have to go into MSTR, MSTU, but it's more than Tesla. So Tesla, if you bought Tesla, you'd be even as of 12/22/25 in your common shares. But if you bought TSLL and thinking you're going to get the outperformance of 2x, now there is a period for these things to trade only. So when Tesla moves really sharp, really quick, then you can trade TSLL. You're going to get your money's worth out of it. For example, when Tesla, let's say right here, when it broke out at 350 on its way to 470 within a really short period of time, basically about a 2.5 week period, So let's figure that out. So this day is 9/11/25, and by the time we got to 10/1/25, so basically 2.5 week period, Tesla moved from 350 to 465. Okay, so that's 115 points. That's about 30%. What did TSLL do in the same time? Same dates. Right here. 9/11/25, TSLL was about 15. And by 10/1/25, TSLL was 22.5. So Tesla moved 30%, and TSLL went from 15 to 22, 7 points, about 55%, still not 100%. But on these short period times, when Tesla is really volatile and moving higher or lower, either way, then you can trade these 2x ETFs or the move here, for example. So Tesla low, TSLL low is 15, goes up to 24. That's 9 points. That's close to 60%. What did Tesla do at the same time? Right here. Tesla went from 385 to 495. So these short periods of time, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, you can trade these 2x ETFs. But if you're going to buy and hold like I demonstrated for a year, you're going to lose so much money, regardless of how many calls, cover calls you sell and puts and this and that you do. You're not going to be able to make that up. So illustration was Tesla unchanged over a year period, TSLL down 40%. So buyer beware, these 2x ETFs are not to be bought and held for long periods of time. For a week or two, max a month, maybe. But the rest of the time, please don't do it. All you're going to do is you're just going to experience pain in your trading account and pain everywhere else. So maybe we'll add just a little bit more to Tesla. I'm not expecting a huge move, but I'm expecting, again, none of this is trading, financial, or investment advice, folks. What I do is very risky. Do it at your own risk. MACD's under zero, not too bullish. We're bouncing off the 200 EMA. That's practically the only reason technically that I'm just kind of looking at Tesla. The 20 has crossed the 50 to the downside. I'm not super bullish on Tesla, but I think top of the range kind of a move, maybe up to 450 potentially is there if the market behaves. But, that's about it. I am looking at a few other positions to put on. Retailers are doing well. Actually, I'm waiting for a little bit more pullback on UPS to put on a position. First pullback to 20 EMA. Walmart is pulling back. You're going to say, Serge, why aren't you dealing with high-tech stocks? Okay, I can deal with high-tech stocks. You guys want me to deal with Hood? That's down 50-60% already. You guys want me to deal with Oracle? Right? I mean, pretty much every software stock is absolutely getting smashed or cut in half already. You guys want me to deal with Microsoft? It can't get out of its own way. It's down from 550 down to 400. I mean, Microsoft is basically pretty much where it was in April. So long story short, folks, you guys got to rotate with the market. What is the market buying? Market's buying airlines. Market's buying consumer cyclicals. Market's buying soft goods like Coca-Cola. Believe it or not, Coca-Cola looks like a tech stock, right? Market's buying Walmart's. Market's buying a lot of the metal stuff, although they're just kind of taking a break here. But that's what the 52-week high list gives me a chance to kind of, figure out the noise of what's going on. So long story short, I will stick to my guns on this. I'm not going to abandon it. It was my pivot starting 2026. I don't think indexes are going anywhere. So this is SPY. Let's take a look on the big charts. Here's SPY, literally sideways what it was 6 months ago. Triple Q, same thing. And it's not, it can't go anywhere. These, because since SPY and triple Q are market cap weighted indexes, you know, they can't go anywhere unless the Mag 7 or Mag 10 goes. And what is Mag 7, Mag 10 doing? You know, check out the video coming out at noon today. Apple, same price it was 4 months ago. NVIDIA, same price it was literally July of last year. Tesla, same thing. Microsoft actually is lower. Microsoft is actually is back to where it was April 28th, 30th. Same thing with Meta. Back to where it was, literally back to where it was May of last year. Amazon, if these don't go, and Amazon is back to where it was May of last year, like too. So they're just, you know, indexes cannot move anywhere. And they're all under their 200-day moving averages, which is really, really important. There may be a little bit of a, you know, bounce back towards that 200 EMA, let's say for Amazon and Microsoft. Do you want to trade it? I'm not sure. Netflix, same thing. Netflix actually is a lot lower. Actually, I'm trying to get assigned Netflix. It's going to be my 5th stock in my long-term port. But what I'm trying to say is that there's 10,000 stock, folks. Don't get stuck. You know, don't get stuck. Palantir is back to where it was literally last May. So if you bought Palantir last May, you're even. But then in the meantime, there are so many stocks that are doing, right? Okay, let's take a look at the SanDisk. What is that doing, right? I mean, would you rather be in Palantir, or would you rather be in SanDisk, or would you rather be in Western Digital? Would you rather be in Seagate Technology? I mean, forget all these names. Would you rather be in Walmart? Okay, you know, look at that. I mean, Walmart versus, and granted, it's not the same type of business, obviously, but look at the difference. I mean, we're trying to outperform the benchmark, right? You're not going to outperform the benchmarks by just being in the same stocks as the rest of the world is that rule the indexes. It's just not going to happen. Find yourself some gems. I mean, look at Southwest Airlines. I mean, these are, right? I'd rather be in Southwest Airlines since last May, than Palantir or Hood, or my Hood is actually, I don't know where Hood is at. You know, everybody's in love with Hood. Okay, well, market goes in a bear market. Hood's going to get cut in half and again. So Hood is back to literally where it was June of last year. Same thing with SoFi. All these people talk about is these stocks. SoFi, they're all in downtrends. They're all in their own little bear market. SoFi is back to where it was last June. Why do you guys want to write it up and write it down? I don't want to be in a roller coaster. If I want a roller coaster, I go to Magic Mountain. I don't need it in the stock market. So the point I'm trying to make is, you know, outperformance is key. And then you're stuck with these stocks, and obviously you're looking at opportunity cost, right? So, but then, you know, a lot of people have ideas about, oh, this, oh, that. Yes, Hood is I'm going to hold it for another 10 years. It's going to be 500. You have no goddamn idea where it's going to be. Hood could be zero. I mean, there was a graph actually that I looked at. Hood traders are not really that successful, folks. So, but, you know, Hood is trying to go into more long-term stuff, retirement accounts. Now they're coming out with, you know, they become a VC now. They have a closed-end VC fund. They sent me some prospectus, and I'm like, I'm not holding the bag. You know, they're trying to dump all this garbage AI stuff on retail. I'm like, no, not interested. Thank you. But, you know, again, that's my opinion. What else am I looking at? I'm looking at copper stock called ERO, Aero Copper. I think it's bottoming somewhere around here. I like it. I like uptrends. Trend is your friend, folks, if I'm going long. And I like downtrends like HIMS if I'm going short. Okay? Look at that. It's down again, down another 20 cents, down to 16. And people on X are still going, HIMS is great. I'm like, what are you people talking about? Go to the poorhouse. It's your money. Do whatever you want with it. Same thing with BMNR, right? People are cussing out Tom Lee. Tom Lee's not doing anything. Tom Lee's doing what he said he was going to do. But if you listen to Tom Lee, you know, he said Ethereum's going to 20,000. I'm like, no, Ethereum is at 1,800 or at 1,900. And if you look at Ethereum's chart, it's dead. It's deadly. What a bear market. Here's the iShares Ethereum ETF. What is that? What does that look like to you guys? I mean, we're going sideways now before another leg comes down. Potentially, doesn't look good to me. You know, market has to prove itself, and for me, the important thing is the price. And here's Bitcoin ETF. What does that look like? Death. Like, you know, and then people are still going, yeah, Bitcoin's going to 1 million. I'm like, okay, well, it's not 1 million; it's about 68,000. So, you know, price takes precedence, and I'll just, you know, I actually turned off a lot of the people. I put them on mute because I don't want to go into my X account and you know, see this fluff, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, went through the positions. Not much else is going on. Pretty quiet day. Maybe I'll add a little bit more to my put debit spreads, to be perfectly honest. I already did. But do I really want to? Not really. Yeah, it's all good. Okay. Yeah, not much else is going on. Let's see where BM and R end up on Friday. The short calls are going to go worthless, I'm pretty sure. But let's go to the front, answer some questions if there is any. And then I'll go have a cup of coffee. Picture in picture fixed because I wasn't in that mode. Oracle is a great company with a question mark. Not sure. When the price gets cut in something by 60%, I don't think I want it. How would we know it would tank? I don't know the context of that question, but you know, trend is your friend. If we're talking about Oracle, is Oracle in a downtrend over the last 6 months? Yeah. Well, lower lows, lower highs. Is Hood in a downtrend? Yeah. Is Hims in a downtrend? Yeah. Is Netflix in a downtrend? Yeah. Is how many more names do you want? Is every single software stock, is Adobe in a downtrend? Forever now. Is ServiceNow in a downtrend? Yes. Is CRM Salesforce is downtrend? Yeah. Unity software? Yeah. Every software stock is in a downtrend. It's been in their own bear market for the last year, basically. So if you're going to make money in anything, you need to find yourself a trend. You could be bearish, you could be bullish. You could be short these stocks, make money. You know, as I say, bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. I don't want to deal with downtrends. I have no chance. I have no chance catching a falling knife. Maybe you guys are smarter than me. I have zero chance catching a knife. You know, not every time market's going to come back and save you guys. So you want to keep buying the same stocks while they're going lower, because what does the market not know that you know? You're sitting in your couch somewhere, you have an opinion. You're not an analyst. You don't understand earnings. Stock is being sold off day after day after day, and you keep saying the same thing. I'm not saying you, Mike. I'm talking in general now. What was great at 50, it's at 30 now, it's better. Oh, it's 20 now, it must be better. Is it? The market's just telling you something. The market's telling you this is the price today. It could be lower, it could be higher. But if I'm dealing with downtrends, I'd rather be shorting those things. And most people don't like shorting things, don't even understand how to short things. So most people make money when they buy and sell. First buy, then you sell. You buy it at 1, sell it at 2, hopefully you make 100%. Well, that's not present in a lot of stocks. So my thing is, figure out a trend and go with it. And hopefully, you know, I'm not buying the top. Like LAC or CRML. You can ask me that in the chat. Why are you asking them to here? I'm not sure. You remember? Okay, let's take a look. I probably don't. LAC. Yeah, that's the Trump stock, right? They invested some money in it. Okay. No. Maybe at this price, yeah, for a pop, possibly. Yeah, stock went from, we were long LAC before you joined the group, by the way, from the threes. Went from 3 to 11. Bag holders got created. Same thing with open door. All the open door fools, right? I like them apples. Is that a downtrend? Still in a channel, so maybe in one day he'll break out. But LAC, I don't know. At this price, maybe there's a dollar pop here somewhere, but I don't want to deal with it. It could also go to 3.5. It could go close the gap. I don't know. CRML, you know, same thing. What is there to like? Okay, it's down to 200 EMA. Maybe there's a trade there. Maybe. I mean, you know, these stocks all rally together. Same thing with MS, not MS. MT, is it? No. MP, sorry. MP Materials, same thing here. METC, so I think is the other one. Yeah, Micro Resources, same thing there. Look at the peaks of these stocks. They all look like the quantum computing stocks. CRML. Yeah, maybe there's a trade, short-term trade here. I mean, I know you like selling put credit spreads. Maybe you should sell put credit spread. What's the risk? 6.5. The stock is 9.5. Still a lot of risk, obviously. But yeah, I mean, all these stocks, you know, rotate. You just got to rotate with, you know, when the money comes in, it comes in all these stocks, LACs and MPs and METCs and, you know, CRMLs and all these CCJs. Another one. Actually, that's the best looking one out of all these stocks. So Cameco Resources, CCJ, looks pretty good. And then another one is Albemarle. You know, deal with those stocks. Why are you dealing with, they're the same group. Why are you dealing, money's here. Money's not in CRML. Money's not in LAC. Just because it's cheap? I don't know. I don't understand that thought process. So, right? I mean, to me, it's like, there's leaders, and even within groups, there's leaders. So go with the leaders of the groups, because that's where most of the money is going to go. That's where institutional money is going to go. You know, and then people in Robinhood are going to go buy CRML, and yeah, it could have doubled. I mean, last time it rallied from 6.5 to literally 21. Okay, I mean, out of what you asked me, that probably is the most reasonable one, actually. You know, volume is shrinking, MACD is lower. I don't know. Could it get a pop? I don't even know when the earnings are on this thing. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather deal with the leaders of their groups. All right, folks. Short day today. Let's see where things are at. We'll finish the day, have a cup of coffee, maybe put on a couple of trades. I do like ERO. I think I'll put on a trade there shortly. I like the metal stocks. Again, none of this is trading financial investment advice. Do it at your own risk. I like Hecla, Pan American Silver, HYMC. They're all printing money. They're getting silver out of the ground at 10, 12, 15 bucks an ounce, and they're hopefully hedged into 50, 60, 70, 80, if not higher. And their free cash flows are out of control, out of control with these companies. So I pay attention to those things. Like on the 52-week pullback, 52-week pullback. We put it on a PCS. It's always a risk. Less, I guess. It's always less risky than being naked put. But anyway, so okay. So I'll come back on Friday, expiration day. Power hour with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And I will see you guys on Friday. So go check out the video. Please put a thumbs up if you like it. Go check out the video coming out today at noon Pacific. It clearly tells you why the indexes are stuck where they are and they're not going to go anywhere. In fact, you know, we had periods in our history that the market's been sideways for 10 years. Is it going to be that? I don't think so. I think markets are completely different than those days. But then in our history, we've had 3 or 4 occasions that the markets were basically sideways for like years in a little trading range. But I think the markets are too volatile for that. There's many different things than those days for the markets to just stay in a range. There's a lot more leverage out there. There's a lot more money out there. So we'll see. But for me, the key levels to watch is 67.50 and 7,000 or 69.50 on SPX. Either way, I think we'll get a pop if we go through one of those 2 numbers, or we got a sell-off, go through one of those numbers. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You have a great day. Stay healthy. And may all your longs skyrocket and may all your shorts tank.